So I started knitting when I was about 3 or 4, and it was because my mum was a desperate woman. I was the youngest of 5 kids, and by the time she got to me, she just needed something to keep me busy and quiet, and she thought knitting was a good way of doing it, which it was for probably 6 months until I learned to knit and talk at the same time. And then crochet, I did a sort of granny square blanket when I was about 12 or 13, that was down to a friend's mum who taught me, but then really didn't touch it again until really recently, and now I'm obsessed.
I started knitting and crocheting probably about 17 years ago. It was my first craft that I got involved in. And it was knitting primarily. I was living in New Zealand at the time, lots of wool in New Zealand. And it's a long way away. I used to travel long haul a lot, so it was something I used to do on the flights. And it was not making anything in particular, just keeping my hands moving and my brain moving.
First started knitting about 10 years ago, and it was just I wanted to do something with my hands. My mum was a seamstress, and I loved the thought of like carrying that on. She's ill, so I loved the thought of carrying that on as she got more and more ill, and sewing was just too loud in our house. So I turned to knitting. And that's been literally it ever since, is knitting.
So I took up knitting when I was probably about 8 or 9, and my mum taught me. Sorry, my mum, she'll tell me off for not saying mum. Taught me when I was about 8 or 9. We learned how to finger knit at school, and she was sick of me making long cords of nothingness. So she was like, right, I'll teach you how to properly knit. And then crochet I taught myself from video tutorials online, because I was on the hunt for the perfect fisherman beanie, which at the time didn't exist.